This is the first of a series of lectures on a course in symbolic logic, showing how Venn diagrams can be used to diagram not only categorical syllogisms, but also arguments in propositional logic and predicate calculus. It's based on a book I wrote, which has been copyrighted. It hasn't been published, but it's been copyrighted. It's called, I'll show a picture of it. Venn diagrams in symbolic logic, diagramming arguments in propositional and predicate logic. So it's about 90 pages, and I'll show you. That's one example. So it's going to be a complete course in symbolic logic. I'll start from the very beginning with propositional logic, show how you can use Venn diagrams to diagram arguments in propositional logic. I'll talk about truth tables, and essentially it'll cover, basically it'll be a complete course in propositional logic, and also predicate logic or predicate calculus. So I will show you when we get to the point. I won't show it at the beginning, but I'll show you how to diagram arguments using Venn diagrams. I can show you how to diagram arguments like if P then Q then R, if R then let's say P, or Q then P, P then Q, or R. Okay, now there's a way you could show that this is valid or invalid by doing truth tables, or you can also do formal derivations. I'll show you how you can do this using Venn diagrams, and you can get the answer very quickly. I'll also show you how to use Venn diagrams to diagram arguments in predicate logic. For example, let's say you had something like for all x, if f of x, then g of x, or h of x, there's some x, g of x, then f of x. Do we know that there is some x, h of x, or g of x? I don't know the answer to that, but I could tell you, I could solve the answer very quickly using Venn diagrams. Anyway, so if you're interested in learning how to use Venn diagrams to diagram arguments in propositional logic and predicate logic, this would be a course you want to take. It's completely new. I mean, it's a completely new system. I worked on it for at least 15 years. Before Martin Gardner died, I had showed him earlier. Martin Gardner, if you've never heard of him, is very famous. I mean, he was editor of Scientific American for years, and I had, and also he is one of the fathers, I guess, quote, fathers of the critical thinking movement, the skeptical movement. Anyway, I had shown Martin Gardner years ago, before he died, some of what I was doing. He was very interested in it. In the meantime, I went on to develop my method to expand beyond propositional logic and to use predicate logic. Anyway, so I'm going to give a complete course. I'll start with the beginning. I'll start with propositional logic, and I'll work through. Maybe I'll spend a few weeks on that, and then I'll get into predicate calculus or predicate logic. I'll show you how Venn diagrams can be used to diagram arguments in predicate logic. I mean, I've never seen anybody do that before, and so this is a completely new system. Hopefully, at some point, it'll start being incorporated into logic books. At present, if you take a introductory course in logic at a college or a university, if it's an introductory course in logic, there'll be a section on categorical syllogisms, and it will explain how Venn diagrams can be used to diagram arguments in categorical logic. That's as far as it goes. When you get into propositional logic, there's no Venn diagrams. They totally disappear from the book. And that's very sad, I think, because as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. The reason they use Venn diagrams to diagram arguments in categorical syllogisms, or they use Venn diagrams to diagram categorical syllogisms, is that it makes it very easy to do, and you can picture it. You can picture the logical relations. When you get to propositional logic, there's no more Venn diagrams. In my book, I will show you how to diagram any argument you want in propositional logic. Now, I'll limit myself to 3 letters, P, Q, and R, because the Venn diagrams are only 3 circles. But I could show you if you want. I mean, I could use squares, and I could make it more complicated, maybe get up to 5 or 6 letters. But I'll limit myself at the beginning to 3 letters, P, Q, and R. And so I'll show you how you can diagram any argument you want in propositional logic using Venn diagrams. And then we get to predicate logic, where you have quantifiers. Things like here for all x, if x is f, then x is g, or x is h, and so on. I mean, you can see this. I mean, I've never seen anyone use Venn diagrams to diagram something like this. And it's not in any books. If you want to know how to diagram this stuff like this, take my course, and I'll show you. It's a completely new system. And as I said, I mean, it's a shame that that Venn diagrams have been limited to categorical syllogisms. So anyway, this is basically, I just wanted to introduce, to let you know what I'm doing. I'll give out tomorrow. I'll post a lecture starting with propositional logic, starting with the fundamental, how propositional logic works, and I'll use Venn diagrams from the very beginning to show you how you can diagram simple sentences, and then as I go on, it'll become more complex. And then once I've worked through propositional logic, we'll get into predicate calculus. So anyway, that's all I want to say for today. So if you're interested, follow my, subscribe to my channel or whatever. And it's a complete course in Venn diagrams and propositional logic and predicate logic. My name is Richard Hammerud. I have a PhD from Berkeley in English, not philosophy, not logic, but I've taught logic for years. And so anyway, if you're interested in learning more about Venn diagrams and also how propositional logic works and predicate logic work, this would be a great course to take. And tomorrow and the next succeeding days, I'll be posting lectures. So I hope you tune in. Thank you.